suit, tailored. Your watch, custom made. Your home, architecturally designed. Excellence is not an accident. Why should your child be any different?
What is gene editing and how does it work? Genes are sections of long DNA molecules coiled up inside each cell of every living thing, from plants to animals to humans. Consider DNA the instruction manual for an organism. In people, genes can influence characteristics such as height and hair and eye color. DNA is inherited from parents. A combination of two sets of genes, one from each parent, is constructed to produce a new sequence and is constantly reshuffled through generations. But sometimes, these DNA sequences carry errors which can create problems. Humanity has a long history of trying to find ways to modify genes. People have been crossbreeding plants to make them better to eat for thousands of years. New gene editing technology, known as
CRISPR.
Revolutionary technology that can
Edit DNA with incredible precision.
CRISPR has promising potential as it is becoming increasingly precise, fast, simple, and cheaper than previous techniques. CRISPR pinpoints the faulty genes and uses an enzyme to either replace the gene or change the way it behaves.
Basically find it, cut it out, and paste in a fix, at which point presumably Clippy shows up and says, "Hi, it looks like you're trying to play God and alter the basic building blocks of life. Need some help?"
With constant advancements in technology, it would seem that a future filled with happy and healthy families is not far away. Designer baby is a term for babies whose genes are genetically modified to contain specific traits such as gender or hair favorable to the parents. The child's physical health is in no way inhibited and they are capable of living a healthy life. But what if scientists use this technology egoistically? This creates a clinical issue as parents want their child to be perfect in every aspect. The need for their child to excel in almost everything can generate a chain reaction for other parents to want their child to also be perfect. Therefore, instead of a natural birth, parents would prefer their child edited but not naturally developed, where they explore themselves and their own capabilities. This will limit the child's autonomous choices as they cannot choose what they want to pursue because their parents have predetermined their pathways in life.
This is your final call for QF675 to Beijing.
The daily Qantas flight to Beijing is being nicknamed the baby capsule. Thousands of young Aussies travel to China to have a bespoke baby.
We can't afford a house, so why not invest in our baby?
More manufacturing going overseas. Australian babies should be made in Australia.
The technology also comes with uncertainty and risk. Although theoretically, a designer baby can be created, but it comes with a possibility where the process of modifying the genes gone wrong and it will negatively alter their genes. What are their parents going to do? Will they keep the child or will they choose to have an abortion? If the child grow up and have genetic defects, they did not have a choice and would they want it to be like that? It is also a matter of confidentiality. The genetic information of the child can be kept as a record, and it is not certain that it would not be accessed by people other than doctors or scientists. Genetic therapy is another branch of gene editing that allows for the eradication of disease-causing gene sequences. It is considered a form of treatment that enables them a better quality of life without pain and suffering. Genetic disorders exist as a result of one or more genes that is mutated or altered. Specific examples of genetic disorders include cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, Down syndrome, and hemophilia. A current problem with the gene therapy technology is finding a successful way to deliver the genes. Existing techniques are comprised of splicing or injecting the cell into the body, using a harmless virus to transport the working gene, and using stem cells that are manipulated in laboratory to change genetic behavior. Legal restrictions in regard to clinical trials are important for the safety of the patient and society as a whole, which is why an international baseline for the use of genetic modification should be developed. In December 2018, the World Health Organization established an expert panel to set international guidelines on how to govern this new technology. They are closely examining all of the social, ethical, and legal factors that influence the use of genetic editing technology in order to come to a widely beneficial solution that does not bring
Here
harm.
in the Bay Area, we're visiting a biohacker in his garage. He's selling CRISPR kits, DIY CRISPR kits, for a couple of $100s.
You can buy this cutting-edge kit that allows you to use this technology, and you don't need anything else. You don't need a PhD, and you could do experiments with CRISPR. Like, that, I think, is really cool.
Many questions are raised wondering if it is humane to change and edit a child's gene, whether it is to prevent diseases or aim for perfection.
People shouldn't try to actually kind of play gods. We're all different in a good way, and that's for a certain reason, and we shouldn't try to make everybody perfect.
I don't really agree with the idea of designer babies just because I think it's so unnatural, and like our imperfections are what makes us us.
I'm not for it. It's interfering with nature.
And personally, I don't really like the idea of being able to select a baby's gender or characteristics. I think those are the types of things that should happen naturally.
We're always trying to eradicate health problems in society, and this could be an amazing opportunity.
I think this would be such an amazing thing to happen. People suffering and living with diseases have such poor quality of life, and why would you not want to improve the quality of individuals' lives?
Improve people's quality of life, and obviously remove a burden then on society and society's health systems.
I think that removing or modifying genes to prevent genetic disorders or diseases is really good because it would benefit the well-being of the child.
So it should be legal with heaps and heaps of legislation.
I do think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages.
I definitely think there's some potential there, but it would definitely have to have some very, very strict and stringent guidelines, and the laws would have to be very specific about what was and wasn't acceptable.
Genetic engineering should only be legal in Australia if it is used appropriately.
You have to be given, and this is where luck comes in, you have to be born lucky in the sense that you have to have the right genes to go out, and you have to have a certain gene.
I'm prepared to take responsibility for a failed pavlova, but I'm not prepared to take responsibility for a failed child.
Why wouldn't you choose the best traits for your kid?
So what would you pick?
I'd pick the fastest, the smartest.
If to be used on humans, there should be strict laws surrounding editing DNA. For example, the restriction of use only to prevent disease and not so that parents can pick gender, appearance, or personality. The argument for research to continue in order to incorporate polygenic diseases in the future and the possibility of greatly improving the overall health of humanity possibly outweighs the risk of the minority using the advanced technology for a eugenic uprising. The alternative to the CRISPR technology is embryonic screening as a form of pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. Its intended effect is to sequence the genome of an IVF embryo that has the risk of containing a genetic disease such as the BRCA2 gene for breast and cervical cancer. If the client is uncomfortable with using genetic modification technology, this is the next safest option in order to prevent a genetic disease carrying on to the child.